Success isn't a lucky break. It's not a chance event. It's not something that just happens to a select few. Success is a habit, a daily, relentless pursuit of knowledge and growth. If you want to stand out, if you want to be the one people talk about, then you need to understand this. You must commit to learning every single day. Every day is an opportunity to become smarter, sharper, and more capable. And when you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you stop moving forward. The world doesn't wait. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're comfortable, or if you've already made it this far. It moves forward and you have to move with it, or you'll get left behind. Imagine waking up every day with the drive to learn something new, with the hunger to grow. Imagine not letting a single day go by without adding something valuable to your mind and your skill set. Now that's power. That's unstoppable momentum. In this video, we're diving into the exact steps you need to take to ensure you're learning, growing, and winning every single day. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. And the secret to that is continuous education. Number one, if you stop learning, you start failing. Success is not permanent, and failure is not final. When you stop learning, you start failing. And that's hard truth that too many people ignore. Your mind needs nourishment. If you're not feeding it, someone else will. Things are changing faster than ever. Markets shift overnight. New ideas emerge daily. The skills that carried you yesterday won't carry you tomorrow. If you allow your mind to get stuck, you'll wake up one day and realize the world has moved on without you. Think about it. There's a certain excitement in mastering something. You feel capable, confident, in control, but the moment you convince yourself you know enough, that feeling starts to fade. You stop looking forward. You stop pushing into new territory, and the world doesn't pause. So every time you let learning slip, you build momentum for your own decline. Behind your back, life keeps moving. Every book you don't read, every skill you don't study, every thought you don't challenge, you fall a bit behind. Learning isn't about showing off, it's about survival. It's about staying relevant. It's about giving yourself every advantage possible. When you keep learning, you're saying, I care enough about my future to invest in it. You're making a statement not with words, but with action. Even a small commitment each day, an article, a lesson, a reflection, stays ahead of the crowd. Be honest with yourself. How much new have you learned this week? This month? This year? If your answer is not much, then failure is already on its way. Not because you're lazy, but because life demands growth. Stay still and you drift far enough, and you're lost. When you adopt a daily learning practice, something shifts inside. It starts to feel good to stretch your mind. Curiosity becomes a habit. You begin to look for what you're missing rather than hunting for shortcuts. You're not chasing hype. You're building knowledge. You're getting better at asking the right questions. You're becoming someone who can handle change confidently instead of freezing in fear when things shift. The process doesn't have to be grand. You don't have to enroll in expensive courses or get a degree. You just have to stay curious and disciplined enough to say, what can I learn today? Then follow through. Listen to an expert while you exercise. Read a chapter before bed. Try something outside your normal. Speak with someone who's been where you want to go. The habit is what matters. There will be days when learning feels slow. You'll wonder if it's even worth it. That's when you remind yourself of the alternative: fading competence, slow irrelevance, watching opportunities pass by. Every time you feed your mind, you build resilience against that. Future you will appreciate the person who showed up day after day and refused to stay comfortable. Think of the most successful people you admire. Chances are their curiosity never went away. Their hunger to learn stayed alive. They didn't wait for inspiration. They created it by seeking knowledge. They understood that a small effort each day compounds into major breakthroughs over time. That's why they stayed ahead of trends, owned their industries, and led with insight rather than gut feel alone. Failure isn't sudden, it's a slow drift. You don't notice when you're moving backward until you're already broken down. A car that goes unmaintained runs fine for a while, then it stops. Take care of your mind the same way you take care of your body. Nourish it, stretch it, keep it sharp. Don't let it feel useless. Don't let it feel outdated. Don't let it rust. You deserve a mind that's strong, flexible, and alive. And here's something to hold on to. Learning is joyful. It wakes your senses. You feel alive when you discover new ideas. Your mind feels fresh. Your work feels cleaner. Your conversations feel deeper. Your confidence feels real because it's based on facts, not assumptions. That feeling of progress, that's fuel. It drowns out self-doubt. It helps you engage with life instead of treading water through it. Take a moment right now and ask yourself, what have I learned in the last 24 hours? If the answer doesn't excite you, then you know what needs to change. Decide today to do better. Even a single page, a 10-minute video, a conversation with a mentor, make it happen. Get back into the habit of learning daily until it's not a decision anymore, but just who you are. You will feel more alive. You'll rediscover your edge. Your work becomes smarter, smoother, more effective. You'll begin to speak with clarity, not confusion. You will navigate problems instead of being paralyzed by them. You'll open doors that were closed to the person you were yesterday. You'll earn the opportunities instead of hoping to be given one. If you stop learning, you start failing. It's not a threat, it's a promise. But if you choose to educate yourself every day, you are making a guarantee too. A guarantee that you will rise to meet whatever challenge comes. You will stay relevant and you will build a mind mirrored for the future, not afraid of it. Keep learning, keep pushing forward, and you'll never lose. It's that clear and that important. Number 2, what are you depositing daily? Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're making a deposit into your mind, into your habits, into your future, and those deposits are shaping your outcomes. They're not neutral. They're either moving you forward or pulling you down. The question isn't whether you're depositing something. The real question is what you're depositing. Every scroll through social media is a deposit. Every podcast, every conversation, every decision you make about what to do with your time, it's all going into the bank account of your future. And just like money, what you put in is what you get out. But most people don't think like that. They wake up and go through the day reacting. They let the world fill their minds. And most of what the world hands out is noise, distraction, fear, and comparison. If you let that pile up in your mind every day, you won't be surprised when you feel stuck, anxious, and unfocused. You've been making the wrong deposits. But when you flip the mindset and become intentional, things start to change fast. You begin to treat your time and attention like something valuable, because it is. Instead of scrolling through garbage, you choose something that makes you think. Instead of gossip, you seek conversations that grow you. Instead of binge watching what numbs your brain, you choose a book that strengthens it. The deposits don't need to be massive. They just need to be consistent and intentional. That's where growth lives. The most successful people are obsessive about what they feed their mind. They know that what they take in shows up in how they speak, how they think, how they solve problems, and they don't leave it to chance. They decide, today I will feed my mind something that helps me. They protect their mental diet because they've learned this truth. Garbage in, garbage out. Now think of your day like a journal. If someone opened it at the end of the night, what would they see? Would it be filled with pages of intentional growth, new insights, fresh knowledge, deeper thinking, or would it be a blur of wasted hours and noise? That's not judgment, that's reflection. Because if you don't pause to evaluate your daily inputs, your life ends up running on autopilot, and autopilot rarely takes you where you want to go. If you want a better future, don't just dream it, build it one deposit at a time. Start your day with clarity, know what matters to you, know what you're aiming for, and then ask yourself, what will I feed my mind today to move closer to that? Because every day is either an investment or a withdrawal. And the balance you build decides what you'll have to draw from when life tests you. And life will test you. There will be setbacks, disappointments, and moments where you feel completely out of control. But if you've been making the right deposits, you'll have strength stored up. You'll think clearer, you'll act with more purpose. You'll respond with discipline instead of emotion. You won't break under pressure, you'll rise through it because you've prepared. Some people wait for motivation to show up. Winners don't wait, they create it through their daily hates, through what they expose their minds to, through how they use their time. They wake up and they decide, I'm building something today. Even if it's a small brick, they lay it with purpose. You can do the same. Ask yourself honestly, what am I putting into my mind today? Not just what you're avoiding, but what you're adding. Are you learning something useful? Are you challenging yourself with new ideas? Are you getting around people who think at a higher level? Are you giving your brain something to stretch with? You become what you repeatedly do. And you think like what you constantly consume. So don't take that lightly. Be a guardian of your inputs. Pay attention to what gets your focus. Choose books, conversations, challenges, and even moments of quiet that stretch you instead of distract you. The compound effect of small daily deposits is powerful. One book won't change your life. One lesson won't make you rich. But stack those every day, and a year from now, you're a completely different person. Stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and far more valuable to the world. And that value, internal value, is what leads to external rewards. So right now, pause and be honest. What have you deposited today? Has it built you up or slowed you down? What do you need to change tomorrow? These aren't just questions, they're doorways to transformation. Answer them daily and you won't just grow, you'll thrive. Your mind is a vault. Protect what goes in, train it with care, fill it with wisdom, not noise. And never forget, every day is a choice. And what you choose to deposit is building the version of you that will either lead or follow, win or lose, rise or regret. Make sure you're depositing what counts. Number 3, learn a little every day. Dominate in a year. You don't need to know everything right now. You don't need to master it all today. That's not how real success works. You just need to learn a little more than you knew yesterday, and then do it again tomorrow. And the next day, that small step, repeated, becomes a mountain of advantage that others won't even see coming. The truth is, most people aren't consistent. They start things strong. They get excited. They say they want to change, but they only stay with it for a few days, maybe a couple of weeks. They fall back into their comfort. They wait to feel ready again. But growth doesn't work like that. The people who dominate a year from now aren't the ones who sprint. They're the ones who never stop walking forward. Learning daily isn't about stuffing your head with facts. It's about upgrading the way you think, the way you respond, the way you solve problems. It's about growing sharper, wiser, more capable. Every bit of new insight stacks. Every new lesson gives you more tools, and the ones who stay consistent. They're the ones who quietly build momentum so strong that when the time comes, they're already 10 steps ahead. Think about this. If you just learn one useful thing a day, that's 365 new pieces of knowledge in a year. That's 365 opportunities to grow stronger, make better decisions, and improve your results. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be hungry. You need to care enough about your future that you give it a little something every day. That's what separates people who stay stuck from those who take off. You see, winning isn't about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most prepared. And preparation comes from daily effort. While other people are wasting time entertaining themselves, complaining, or scrolling, you're feeding your mind. You're getting sharper. You're stacking knowledge. You're preparing for the moment when it's your turn to lead, to build, to win, and you'll be ready. Not because you got lucky, but because you earned it day by day. You've got to start seeing learning as a responsibility, not an option. The world moves fast. If you're not improving, you're getting left behind. That's just how it is. The job market shifts, opportunities change, new industries rise, technology advances, and the person who's been learning daily, they don't panic, they adapt, they're ready because they've been preparing quietly, without applause, every single day. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Read 10 pages, watch a video that teaches you something useful, study someone who's already where you want to be. Take notes, reflect, try to apply one new idea today. That's it. Small daily effort, done with discipline, creates massive long-term growth. The key is not to overthink it. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait to feel motivated. Just start and keep going. When it's boring, keep going. When it's hard, keep going. When nobody sees you or cheers for you, keep going. Because real winners don't need applause. They build their edge in silence. And here's the part most people miss. The real power of learning daily isn't just in what you gain, it's in who you become. You start to feel more confident, more certain, more in control of your path. Your thinking becomes clearer, your choices become better. You stop being reactive, you start being intentional. You're not just drifting anymore, you're building something with purpose. You'll start to notice how much others are wasting time, arguing about things that don't matter, chasing quick wins and wondering why they're stuck. But you won't be stuck because you're stacking bricks, quietly, consistently, every single day. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone. You just need to be better than you were yesterday. And if you keep learning, that's exactly what will happen. One day you'll wake up and realize you've become someone unrecognizable, someone stronger, smarter, calmer, more valuable, more respected, more unstoppable. The people who win in the long run aren't the loudest. They're not the ones with the flashy start. They're the ones who made learning their lifestyle. They didn't need to be told. They didn't need to be reminded. They just made the decision, if I want more out of life, I need to become more. And I become more by learning more every day. So ask yourself now, what did you learn today? And more importantly, what will you learn tomorrow? Because if you stay committed, if you stay patient, and if you refuse to quit, you will dominate in a year, not because you had better luck, but because you made better choices. Small choices, daily ones. The kind that most people ignore, but you didn't. That's how you win. Quietly, daily, relentlessly. Number 4, your friends are your future. Are they educating or draining you? Most people never stop to ask themselves one of the most important questions in life. Who am I surrounded by, and where are they taking me? Because whether you realize it or not, the people you let close, the ones you talk to, share time with, take advice from, are shaping your future. Quietly, constantly, day after day, and either they're pulling you forward or they're dragging you down. You've got to understand something. Your future is too important to hand it over to people who have no vision. Your dreams are too real to be slowed down by people who are okay living the same year over and over. If the people around you are always negative, always doubting, always settling, then over time, you start shrinking too. It happens slowly, quietly. You don't even notice it first. But your standards drop. Your energy fades. Your ambition gets quieter. And that's dangerous. Winners pay attention to their environment. Not just the place, but the people. They look at their circle and ask, are these people helping me grow? Do they challenge me to think bigger? Are they educating me with ideas, support, accountability, and wisdom? Because if they're not, then they're not your circle. They're a cage. You see, who you talk to matters. You become who you're around, not because you're weak, but because that's how humans work. We reflect the expectations of the people closest to us. If you're around people who make excuses all day, who avoid responsibility, who trash talk success, then don't be surprised when your life starts to match theirs. It's not magic, it's influence, and it's always working on you. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine being around people who push themselves to grow. People who read, people who ask big questions, people who are working on their health, their finances, their mindset, people who don't complain when things get hard, they adapt and move. That energy, it's contagious. It lifts you. It pulls the best out of you, and suddenly your excuses start to feel uncomfortable. Your laziness doesn't fit anymore because the people around you expect more, and so do you. This is why it's so important to protect your circle. This isn't about being arrogant or cutting people off without reason. It's about understanding that time is limited, energy is sacred, and you cannot afford to waste either on people who are determined to stay stuck. You can love someone and still step back. You can care about someone and still stop giving them access to your goals, your energy, your time. Ask yourself right now, who are the 5 people you talk to the most? What are they doing with their life? Are they building? Are they learning? Are they becoming more or staying the same? Because your future will almost always look like a combination of those 5 people. That's not a theory, that's a pattern. You need people in your life who inspire you, not drain you. People who educate you with how they live. People who talk about progress, not problems. People who remind you that it's possible even when it's hard. And sometimes that means finding a new tribe. Sometimes it means joining a new group, going to a new place, investing in new relationships, not because the old ones are evil, but because they're not growing and you are. And when you start surrounding yourself with people who think on a higher level, everything begins to shift. Your conversations change. Your standards rise. You start believing bigger things are possible because you see people doing it right in front of you. That's the power of environment. It either holds you hostage or pulls you higher. So be honest with yourself. Are your friends helping you grow, or are they helping you stay average? Are they educating you, challenging you, holding you accountable, or are they just helping you waste time? You don't need a crowd. You don't need a bunch of people. You need the right people. Even just one good person who pushes you to improve is worth more than 10 who just want to stay comfortable. And remember, it works both ways. You've got to be that person too. Don't just look for better friends. Be one. Encourage growth. Share what you're learning. Set an example. Show people what discipline, ambition, and learning look like in real life. The kind of energy you give off is the kind you'll attract. So raise your own standard and you'll start drawing people who live at that level. This isn't a game. This is your life. And the people you're around will either water your potential or let it die of neglect. Choose wisely, because your future depends on it. Surround yourself with people who feed your mind, not your comfort zone. Number 5, turn dead time into learning time. No more excuses. Every day, people say they don't have time to grow. They say they're too busy to read, too tired to listen, too distracted to learn. But if you check their day, you'll find hours just slipping away. In the car, on the train, in line at the store, scrolling on a phone, staring at nothing, that's dead time. Time that's passing anyway, but doing nothing for you. And the truth is, if you're serious about growth, you'll turn that dead time into learning time. Success doesn't ask for your free time. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It rewards people who squeeze every bit of value from their day. You don't need a classroom. You don't need a 5-hour window. What you need is the mindset to say, if I've got 10 minutes, I'm going to use it. In 10 minutes, you can listen to part of a podcast. You can read a few pages. You can review your goals. You can study something that builds your future. But most people waste that time on nothing. They stare, they scroll, and then they complain they're stuck. But winners, they treat every free moment like an opportunity to move forward, waiting at the airport, headphones in, learning mode on, sitting in traffic, feed your mind, taking a walk, put something educational in your ears. It doesn't have to be long, it just has to be intentional. Because over time, those little moments compound. A few pages a day becomes a book a month. A few minutes of audio becomes hours of education. And before you know it, you're sharper, stronger, more aware than you were 6 months ago because you didn't let time pass empty. Excuses are easy. Everyone has them. I'm too tired. I've got kids. My job drains me. But that's exactly why you must feed your mind. Life is already difficult. If your mind is weak, you'll break faster. If your knowledge is limited, your options shrink. If you're not constantly growing, you're just hoping things improve on their own. But they don't. Life responds to effort. You either invest in your mind or you stay a prisoner to your habits. No one is coming to force you to learn. No one is going to remind you that time is slipping away. That's your job. You've got to look at your life and ask, where am I wasting time? Where can I learn instead of scrolling? When can I listen instead of zoning out? How can I turn my car, my room, my morning walk into a learning space? Don't look for motivation. Build a routine. Make learning a non-negotiable part of your day, even if it's 15 minutes before bed, even if it's while folding laundry. You don't need perfect conditions. You need discipline. You need hunger. You need to value growth more than you value comfort. Think about how much time you spend on entertainment. Then ask yourself, what has it given you? Has it made your life better? Helped you earn more? Strengthened your mindset? Probably not. But what if you replaced even half that time with something that builds you? Imagine where you'd be in a year. Imagine what kind of person you'd become. Not by magic, but by simple, consistent deposits of knowledge into your life every single day. You don't need to be a genius. You need to be consistent. Winners learn while others sleep. They grow while others waste time. And eventually the gap gets so big you can't even compare them anymore. One is stuck in survival mode. The other is leading, building, rising. And the only difference was how they used the time that nobody was watching. You want to change your life? Then change how you use your time. Because once it's gone, it doesn't come back. But if you use it right, even 5 minutes can turn into a breakthrough. Even 10 minutes can shift your mindset. Every little bit matters. The people who understand that, those are the ones who win. So stop saying you don't have time. You do. It's just hiding in your day, waiting for you to claim it. Take the headphones out, turn the noise off, find the silence, and in that silence start building yourself. No more waiting. No more wasting. Turn dead time into learning time, because your future is watching. Number 6. Learn fast, apply faster, the shortcut to mastery. If you really want to get ahead in life, you can't just learn. You've got to use what you learn. The world is full of people who read books, take notes, attend seminars, and then do nothing. They collect information like trophies, but they never act. That's not mastery. That's delay disguised as preparation. The truth is, you don't get good by knowing things. You get good by doing things. Learning is only the first step. Real transformation happens when you apply. You don't need a lifetime of study before you start. In fact, the faster you apply what you learn, the faster you get clarity. You figure out what works, what doesn't, and what needs adjusting. You start refining, testing, tweaking. And suddenly you're not just someone who knows, you're someone who understands. There's a big difference between reading about business and running one, between hearing about discipline and living it, between watching others succeed and stepping into the fire yourself. You don't become confident by watching, you become confident by acting even when you're unsure. Most people never reach their full potential because they think they need to feel ready before they move. But readiness is a lie. Clarity comes through doing. Mastery comes from the reps. You don't need to be perfect before you begin. You just need to be willing to get messy, to try, to fail, and to try again. Because every time you apply something, whether it works or not, you're getting closer to mastery. What separates high achievers from the rest isn't that they know more, it's that they do more with what they know. They read something powerful and immediately test it. They hear a strategy and put it into motion. They don't sit on ideas, they use them, and over time that action turns into wisdom. Not just information stored in the brain, but principles etched into their character. You can watch videos all day, read every book on success, fill your journal with the best advice in the world. But if you never act on it, it dies inside you. It sits there unused, untested, slowly losing power. Knowledge without action is like fuel in a car that never drives. It doesn't take you anywhere. But once you apply what you learn, you start gaining real momentum. You stop talking about growth and you start living it. And here's what makes this so powerful. You don't need to apply everything at once. Start small. One thing a day. One idea put into action. One habit tested, then do it again tomorrow, and the day after that. It's the daily application of knowledge that compounds into wisdom. You'll look back in a year and realize you're no longer the same person. Not because you consumed more, but because you used more. You want results? Then stop overthinking and start doing. Learn something today and act on it before the day ends. That's how you train your brain to connect knowledge with results. That's how you rewire yourself for effectiveness. Action builds memory. It deepens understanding, and most of all, it builds you. You don't need another course to feel qualified. You need courage to move with what you've got. You already know enough to take the next step. You already have what it takes to begin. The fastest learners in the world are not just great at absorbing. They're great at executing. They fail fast, fix faster, and rise quicker than those who wait. So today, don't just learn something, use it. Take it out of your notebook and put it into your life. Whether it's a conversation, a business idea, a discipline, or a mindset, take it off the shelf and bring it into action. That's the shortcut to mastery. Not years of studying, but years of applying. You grow by doing. You rise by moving. And you master anything by practicing it in real time. Your future doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be present, hungry, and brave enough to act on what you know. Don't waste another day waiting. Apply what you learn, and keep applying until it becomes who you are. Number 7, you're one book away from changing your life. Most people underestimate the power of a single book. They think it's just paper, ink, and ideas they've probably heard before. But when the right book finds you at the right moment in your life, it doesn't just inform you, it transforms you. One book, one idea, one sentence even. That's all it takes to shift your thinking forever. And when your thinking shifts, your entire life follows. We've been conditioned to chase big events to trigger change, a new job, a new year, a major breakdown. But the truth is, some of the most powerful changes don't come from dramatic experiences. They come quietly. They show up when you're sitting alone, flipping through pages, you're reading, and suddenly something grabs you, something real, something you can't unsee. And in that moment, your future changes. Not later, not next week, right then. That's the power of one book. You might not feel it immediately, but the seed is planted. Your brain can't ignore it. Your heart starts to open. You begin to think differently. You question old habits. You imagine new possibilities. That one idea doesn't just sit in your head. It starts working on your decisions, your routines, your standards. And if you feed that idea, if you keep coming back to it, it'll lead you somewhere you've never been before. That's why it matters what you read. It's not about how many books you finish. It's about which ones you absorb. Don't read for entertainment if you're hungry for change. Read for growth. Find the kind of books that shake you, the kind that leave you staring at the wall, not because you're confused, but because something just clicked. You suddenly realize, I've been living beneath my potential. That moment of realization is worth more than years of sleepwalking through life. Books aren't just collections of knowledge. They're shortcuts to someone else's years of struggle, mistakes, victories, and breakthroughs. When you read, you compress decades into days. You gain access to someone's best thinking without having to suffer through all their failures. That's the kind of leverage few people take seriously. But winners do, because they know success is hidden in the pages most people ignore. If you haven't found that book yet, keep searching. It's out there. And when you find it, you'll know. Because you won't just read it, you'll feel it. It'll follow you throughout your day. It'll show up in conversations, in your reflections, in your actions. You'll start applying parts of it without even realizing. That's when you know it's more than a book, it's a turning point. There are people walking around today who were completely lost just a year ago, directionless, frustrated, broke, Then they picked up a book not because someone told them to, but because they were ready. That's what makes the difference. You've got to be ready. The book can be great, but the student must be open. And once you are, even a single chapter can spark a new chapter in your life. Don't wait for luck. Don't wait for a breakthrough to crash into your life. Go look for it. It might be sitting on a shelf inside a library or on a recommendation list. Read like your future depends on it, because it does. Every decision you make, every opportunity you pursue, every challenge you overcome will be shaped by how you think. And the best way to shape your thinking, read what expands you. Read what challenges you. Read what wakes you up. You're not too busy. You're not too old. You're not too late. Make reading a non-negotiable part of your life. 10 pages a day. A few minutes at lunch. A few pages before bed. Stack those habits, build that muscle. Train your mind. Because one idea can change your priorities. One insight can change your strategy. One truth can change your identity. You're not far from your next level. You're just one decision away. And sometimes all it takes is one book to push you toward that decision. So don't just sit around waiting for life to get better. Go to war for your future and arm yourself with the wisdom that's already out there. It's in the books most people ignore. It's in the pages most people never open. But if you're serious about growing, you'll find them. And when you do, your world will never look the same again.